Okay, Anisha Mathur is joining us from the Tihar prison. Nikhil Lakhani is with us. Lakhani is with us from the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Hospital in Delhi, where the post-mortem is going to take place of these convicts. Anisha, coming to you first. The bodies, have they been sent for post-mortem? And what is happening outside the Tihar prison? The DG prison came out and gave some information about this execution as well.
Well, Ankit, the bodies have been taken to we are still cross-checking if the bodies have been taken to the DDU hospital, but we are getting information that they may have been taken from the other gate number 4. The DG prisons, of course, came out and told us that what had happened right before the execution had happened. If I can just read that they have not they did not express any last wish or anything. That the DG prison has also made it clear that the money that they have earned in the jail will be given to their family members, and all personal belongings will be handed over to their families. The post-mortem is set to be conducted between about 8:30 to 9 a.m., following which the bodies will be handed over to their families. And at this moment, with the protesters and the NGO workers who were here since the early morning, waving flags and waving placards, have largely left. This is mostly security personnel and the media which is here. If I can just ask my camera person to try and pan and show you on the other side of these barricades, on the other side of this gate of the Tihar jail, a handful of protesters and NGO workers are still there. They're carrying placards saying that Nirbhaya ko nyay mila, ab baki betiyon ko bhi nyay do. They are calling for justice for all the women who have been victims of sexual assault in the country. But now that the hanging has been is done, the bodies have been taken to the DDU hospital. Things are now settling down slowly outside the Tihar jail. Back to you.
Stay on with me, Anisha. Let's go across to now Nikhil Lakhani, who is joining us from outside the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Hospital. Nikhil, what's the information there? By when are the bodies expected, and how long is the entire process going to take place of the post-mortem for these 4 now dead convicts?
Yes, Ankit, right now I am outside the Deen Dayal hospital, and as you can see in the pictures, the security has been tightened. Also, I would like to tell you that the distance from Tihar jail to DDU hospital is about 2.8 kilometers, and since it is morning time, so it will take about hardly 10 minutes to reach here. And what we are being heard is that they are about to reach here in a while. A panel of 5 doctors led by Dr. B.N. Mishra will lead the autopsy process. It will take around one hour or something. Also, as the Anisha mentioned that the convicts who were hanged at around 5:30 a.m. didn't express any of the last wish. But when they will be brought here, it will take around 1 hour to complete the process to file the medical report. That's what we are expecting. And what we are also being heard is that in a while, as I told you, it is only 10 minutes away. The distance is only 2.8 kilometers, and the autopsy process will take place at around 8:30.
Okay.
So this is what the update is right now, Ankit.
Stay on with me, Nikhil. I also very quickly wanted to understand from you, will the bodies be handed over to the families at the hospital, or where will they be able to get the bodies from?
Ankit, as of now, the information is that the bodies will be handed over to the parents of the convicts. However, if they do not wish to claim the same, the jail manual, whatever the jail manual suggests, the bodies will be cremated accordingly. Ankit.
All right. So they will be given bodies at the mortuary of the DDU hospital. Anisha, Nikhil, I request you to stay on with me. Brinda Arige, social activist, is joining us at this moment. Kapil Sankla, advocate, senior advocate, is also with us. PK Jain, former ADG Maharashtra, is with us as well this morning. Very good morning to all my guests. Brinda, first reactions from you on this hanging, which has taken place 7 years, 3 months later. justice has been delivered?
I would not talk of it as being complete justice. This is partial justice, because we need to understand that it is 7 years plus. We are talking of fast track court in this age and time. We also expected this case to set a precedent for the thousands of Nirbhayas languishing across India in various courts. We also need to understand that this particular case, they had the resources. There was concerted effort. Can you imagine what is happening to the rest of the cases across India? To some extent, this is a closure to Nirbhaya's family. Victim justice that might be procedural justice that is extended. But let us be reminded that there are so many cases that are still languishing that do not have this kind of a support. They do not have these resources. And that is why we need to only talk of it as a partial justice, because the parliament has a big job to do, and they must amend wherever these loopholes are, wherever these gaps are, which these convicts and their lawyers have exploited and used throughout, even till last night, day before yesterday, midnight applications being made to the Supreme Court. So when you're talking of justice, if this is going to be so long drawn out, what is this justice that we are talking of? Yes, a closure to this particular case, yes. But justice? Where is the justice if we are going to run round pillar to post, just
Kapil
fighting with the judiciary
I request
itself?
you to come in on this, because a lot of recommendations were made by the Justice Verma committee after the hue and cry on this case. You know, where, if you look back now, in 7 years and 3 months, where could have been possibly those recommendations implemented so that the time period of this entire legal battle could have been minimized? Because more than the hanging, a deterrent would be early, quick, swift, in fact, decision-making process as far as the judiciary is concerned.
You know, you're absolutely right when you say this, and I wish that the systems had been put in place before and tightened before. But this case has been historic for a number of reasons. You know, this actually woke India up as a country. It also woke the judiciary up because it realized that there were a lot of lacunas in the system that needed to be tightened up. And therefore now it managed to change the laws, it managed to bring in fast track courts, it managed to bring in orders from the Supreme Court that the matter would be taken care of in a fast track manner, that there would be special courts, there were laws that were tightened up. And more importantly, the Supreme Court also woke up to the aspect of curative petitions, the review petitions, etc., and the conduct of the accused. So somebody saying that the laws are slow, yes, they were. And somebody saying that the lawyers took their own time is also correct. But we should actually be thankful, because this case helped us to see where there are grave lacunas and helped the Supreme Court, helped the trial courts, and helped the legislature to fill it up. You know, there were a number of recommendations as to the time limit of the curative petition and the review petition that had not been decided for a number of years. It has now been decided. There were recommendations that the trial would take place within 6 months. It was never adhered to, but now it has been adhered to. There were aspects as to, in these special cases, how the trial will take place that were never ever adhered to. And fortunately now, because of this case, which is a very unfortunate case, all of that is being done. More importantly, because of all the defense strategies taken by the Defense Council, the Supreme Court as well as the legislature also found out a lot of glaring lacunas that had never been thought of before. And all of that has also been taken care of. We do know that in 2018 there was an amendment in the jail manual that actually stated that once the appeal of one of the person in the accused in the death row is pending, the others will not be hung and everybody has to be hung together. That itself had been taken care of the Supreme Court now, saying that this was a bad law that was created. So therefore, when we talk about this case and the strategies of the defense, we should actually be thankful that this case woke not only the conscious but the judicious conscience of this country to make better laws, to make speedier laws, and to bring out those changes which had been long coming.
All right, before I go to Mr. PK Jain, I'm just quickly want to go back to Anisha. Let me just, if Anisha is with us, because we are hearing that the bodies are now being shifted, the process has started, Anisha, of shifting the bodies from the jail to the hospital. Any clarity on that?
For a clear update from the Tihar authorities. Right now, we do not have a confirmation, but because it is past 7 a.m., the bodies are supposed to be sent to the DDU hospital by 8 a.m. The process, of course, inside, remember a little while ago, the doctors, the team of doctors that was here has checked the bodies. They have declared them dead, and now the process of, preparing the bodies for transfer is being conducted inside. In a short while, we should get a confirmation about what time they are actually being moved. Ankit.
With me, what I am also picking up is that a team of doctors has been, in fact, a 5-member panel has been constituted at the DDU hospital, at Deen Dayal Upadhyay hospital, to conduct the forensic, the autopsy in this case. It will be led by Dr. B.N. Mishra, who is going to lead the post-mortem of all the 4 dead convicts, those who have been executed, those who were hanged at 5:30 a.m. Mr. PK Jain, former ADG Maharashtra, I just want to, in fact, for a moment also understand from you, at this moment when you see this case, there are still, despite the Nirbhaya case outraged, almost 24 cases being reported every single day. It's just not about, the police investigation. It is just not about the courts. What other changes are required as far as the police is concerned? Because we see a lot of times criticism coming the police's way in the handling of cases, especially of crime against women.
Good morning. See, the police work starts the moment a crime is reported. So how quickly a crime has been reported, how quickly the police has drafted the FIR, in what manner the FIR has been drafted, what Panchnama has been drawn, all these things are very material, because the more delay takes place in lodging the FIR and in start of investigation, more and more evidence is lost. In this case also, it was a very wonderful job done by the Delhi police, because absolutely unknown accused were traced and prosecuted. Somebody had put in a lot of hard work, diligent hard work, to ensure that these people are taken to the gallows today, what has happened. So the police work, basically, the officer concerned has to put his heart and soul into the investigation, tie all the loose ends. One of the prosecutors, the public prosecutor, should be involved in such a case right from the beginning, so that there are no loose ends in the case at all, under the supervision of whoever senior officers are. So this is, I presume, the police investigation should go on and taken to its logical conclusion. Collection of evidence, submission of evidence for forensic examination, getting a report, etc. These are all very crucial things.
Right. Because
the accused, as we have seen in this case also, and I have experience of so many other cases,
yes,
the accused would like to exploit every single smallest loophole into the investigation to his benefit. In fact, that is what happens, because even a very incompetent advocate can get an acquittal in a case by pointing out the flaws in investigation. So the investigation has to be flawless. Nobody can take a chance. The supervisor and the supervising officers have to be very, very careful, especially in such cases.
Sir, may I request you to stay on with me? In fact, I'll just come to you, but there is latest information coming in right now. The bodies have been sent to the Deen Dayal Upadhyay hospital for post-mortem. As I was telling you earlier, 5, in fact, doctors panel is going to conduct the autopsy. It is led by a senior doctor, and the autopsy is going to take place between 8 a.m. and it will in fact start at 8 a.m. and post this process, the bodies of all the 4 accused of the 4 now dead convict will be handed over to their family members from the mortuary of the hospital. Now, I just request all my guests and reporters to stay on with us. Meanwhile, 6 people, 4 those who have hung today, to death. One, remember, committed suicide, and there was one juvenile also involved. All of them were convicted in the 2012 Nirbhaya gang rape case. One committed suicide, Ram Singh, who was the driver of the bus, in his cell in 2013. Another was a juvenile who was sent to a juvenile reform home. He was later rehabilitated to an unknown location. The other four kept fighting to evade their execution, which completed today.
The 10th September 2013 Session Court verdict of hanging the convicts in the brutal rape case of Jyoti was confirmed by Delhi High Court. But 2 days later, on March 15, 2014, the Supreme Court put a stay on the execution of the death sentence.
आकि क्यों ढीले हो रहा है, जो भी प्रोसीजर है उनको वो करें या इनको जब डेट फिक्स की जाए.
3 years later, on 7th of February 2017, the Apex Court decided to hear the case. Within 3 months, it rejected the plea by the convicts and upheld their death penalty. That is when all 4 convicts, one by one, started to look for options to seek mercy, review, and to commute execution sentences to life imprisonment. Between November 2017 and January 2020, all 4 of them exhausted all their court options of delaying or commuting of their death sentences. The date for hanging was set for 22nd of January 2020.
देखिए, उन्होंने तो 7 साल से यही किया है. कोर्ट में भी वो बहुत लंबा समय खींचा, आज भी खींच रहा है. तो अब ये सरकार को देखना है, कोर्ट के देखना है, क्योंकि वो सबका समय खराब हो रहा है. क्योंकि जिस तरह से केस में वो लंबा खींचते हैं, उसके बदले दूसरे केस की भी सुनवाई हो सकती है. तो कहीं ना कहीं उन्होंने लंबा खींचने के वजह से आज 7 साल हमें संघर्ष करना पड़ा है.
Beginning 14th January 2020, the 4 death row convicts began to opt for their mercy plea option to the President of India. In order for the pleas to be dealt with, the hanging date was postponed and new date was set for 1st February 2020. Just a day before the hanging, on 31st of January, another postponement took place with the date to be set later. On 17th February, the trial court set the 3rd execution date of March 3rd, 6 a.m. But a day before the execution, a Delhi court had to once again defer the date as the last mercy plea of Pawan Gupta had to be sent to the President. The President rejected his petition on 4th of March.
मैंने सबसे पहले शुक्रिया अपने बेटी को करूंगी, क्योंकि उसको 7 साल इंतजार करना पड़ा. मैं अपने बेटी को शुक्रिया अदा करूंगी, उसके आगे माथा टेकूंगी कि उसको इंसाफ मिले.
The very next day, a Delhi court ruled that all 4 men convicted of gang raping the Delhi physiotherapy intern in December 2012 will be hanged at 5:30 a.m. on March 20th, 2020.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.